company called Verde Vida. Verde Vida is a Mexican company dedicated to the production of organic food. This company has been successful on local markets and also with the growing global demand for healthy and sustainable products. Verde Vida is looking to expand into Canada, and that is a country commitment with the healthy eating. Today, this global marketplace has been a rise in the demand for organic items, influenced by a developing consumer inclination towards healthier and eco-friendly choices. Um, in this project, we examine the risk faced by an organic onion and carrots exporting to the company, exporting by the company, and development plans to mitigate these potential problems. For the mission, we are a company commitment to us with the sustainability. We seek to provide high quality products through an excellent production standards attached to our culture and values, and the satisfying the needs of our customers. Well, for the vision, our vision is consolidate as a company recognized for the quality and its products into the domestic market, as well as abroad, generating sustainable economic and social environment value. And the objectives, we have three. The first one is increase net profit by margin by 15% over the next year through cost reduction and strategic pricing initiatives. The second one is increase the company's online presence and visibility by 20% in 6 months. And the third one is increase annual sales by 25% over the next 3 years, following our entry into the Canadian market. The target market revolves around people who prioritize their health and environment impact. This market comprises mainly healthy conscious consumers who are willing to pay more for highly quality organic and natural food products. For example, people with dietary requirements, young professionals, or families and seniors. Uh, an important age group within the target market for organic products in Toronto is young adults. This age range is characterized by their high awareness of the impact of their choices on the environmental and their personal health. Um, the company Verde Vida also targets business such as restaurants and food services provides that it values sustainability and environmentally friendly food choices.
I will be speaking about the entry mode. The international expansion strategy is to enter the Canadian market through exports. In order to internationalize, the company is looking to export their products directly to Canada. Due to the strong demand for the product and the potential growth of opportunity, it encourages production and trade, as well as allowing the consumption of healthy foods in different markets around the world. All right, so a few of the commercial strategies this company uses is compensation programs for frequent customers, strategic partnerships with influencers, feedback and continuous improvement. They adapt to technology and they work together with suppliers and distributors that employ advanced technologies to improve supply chain efficiency. Right, and the financial risk for this would be the commodity price risk. Prices are subjected to a number of factors, including weather conditions, global supply and demand, and government policy. Fluctuations in commodity prices can have a significant impact on this company's profitability. Foreign exchange risk in Canada, a different currency is used than in Mexico. So there may be a risk that its price will vary and it may affect the generating operational losses. That is, as the Canadian dollar depreciates against the Mexican peso, their profits would be lower since they export. And the rate risk. Fluctuations in interest rates can have a significant impact on the financial position and profitability of their business.
Hi, I am Cecilia, and I'm going to continue telling you about the operational risk that were diagnosed. We have the safety risk because the mode of entry into Canada is export. There are risks that may affect the condition of the product that the company offer. For example, the risks that the merchandise arrives in bad conditions, if it's not transported in specialized containers that maintain an adequate temperature for the organic products, the security risk. Similarly, as the means of transportation would be by land, there is the risk of situations beyond control, such as road accidents or problems with the roads that may cause not to meet the demand of consumers in Canada. Then we have business risk, as it is a foreign market to which the product is going to be sold. There is a price risk. So if the prices that the company offer are not competitive or outside the acceptable margins of the market, well, there is going to be a risk that the sales or relationship with suppliers may decrease, and the Canadian market tends to have a wide variety of local foods products that are accustomed to the flavors and culinary styles of the region. This presents itself as a risk, as consumers may be wary of trying new foreign foods. Then we have another business risk, and says that the company depends on a transportation line. So it could be the case that they have some intermittency in their processes due to lack of personnel that cannot move the merchandise from Mexico to Canada, which would result in a failure in delivery times due to the lack of operators in the market in general. Then we have a legal and regulatory risk. There is a risk of overlooking some type of Canadian health law or regulation when the products are brought into the country, which could cause the merchandise to be rejected and the company will not be able to distribute the products. And finally, we have the reputational risk. There is the possibility that bad references are created at a point of sale and negative rumors spread about the properties of the product, thus creating a bad reputation that affects the business. I'm going to present the risk matrix where the instruments that the company has are addressed. First, we have the foreign exchange risk with a likelihood of 6 of 10, an impact of 7. The instrument is futures, starting with sale. The reasons of this instrument is because this would allow the company to lock in the current rate of for the future transaction, thereby reducing the impact of fluctuating rates, and the cost of this instrument is of 3 to 12%. Commodity price risk with a likelihood of 5 and an impact of 8. The instrument is the futures for onions, starting with buying. The reason is because in order to cover the rise in price that would reduce the company's profitability, a future is used, opening a long position that is buying, as said before. The cost is a 27 volume fee for 1 to 3,000 units. And finally, in the financial risk, we have the interest rate risk with a likelihood of 6 and an impact of 7. The instrument is futures 2, starting with sale. We consider these instruments as the ideal one to cover this risk because these contracts allow investors to obtain a fixed interest rate on a debt or investment instrument for a future date, and the cost of this instrument is 5%. Then we have the operational risk, the security risk. If the goods are not in specialized containers, well, the likelihood is 4 and the impact is 8. The instrument is the insurance policy of this product. In the event that the transport line, due to carelessness, puts the integrity of the food at risk, compensation for the damaged product could be required, and the cost is 600,000, assuming that the exported merchandise has a value of 3 million and the insurance requires a deductible of 20% of its total value. And another security risk, a road accident, a likelihood of 7, an impact of 8. The instrument would be fleet policy. In the event of an accident, the fleet policy includes the protection of drivers and supports the freight transport units, guaranteeing the well-being of the personnel and covering the material damage generated by the accident with a cost of 15,000 Mexican pesos.
Hi, I'm Estefania, and I am going to continue with the next operational risks of the risk matrix. The business risk of non-competitive prices has a likelihood of 3 and an impact of 5. The instrument used by the company is an investment in supply chain optimization, task automation, waste reduction, and productivity. The reason is to develop appropriate pricing strategies, and the cost comes from a few $1,000s to hundreds of dollars. And this is depending on the automation and sophistication of the programs. Then we have the business risk oriented toward market acceptance. The likelihood is 2 and the impact is 8. The instrument is a market research company investment, and the reason is to understand local preference to effectively connect with Canadian consumers. The cost of this risk comes from 1,000 to 5,000 or more dollars. Then the business risk of lack of operators has a likelihood of 5 and an impact of 7. And the instrument is an export company by establishing strong relationships with logistical providers. Sorry. The reason is to ensure that carriers attend shipping needs, and the cost is 70,000 Mexican pesos. Then the legal and regulatory risk has a likelihood of 2 and an impact of 8. The instrument is hiring legal supervision, and the reasons of the instrument is to assure compliance with laws and health regulations in documents. The cost of this is 0.18% of the value of exported merchandise. And the last one is the reputation risk. This risk has a likelihood of 3 and an impact of 8. And the instrument applied here is technological intelligence specialized in reputation. The reason is to identify measurements and statistics. The cost here is 100,000 pesos annually. Okay, so now we have here the risk strategy of each of the risks. The first one, the foreign exchange risk. The company has decided to take the mitigate strategy, and this is to minimize the impact of currency fluctuations, stabilize prices, improve competitiveness, and maintain a strong market presence. Then, for the commodity price risk, the company has applied the mitigate strategy. This is to remain profitable, competitive, and have a long-term growth. Regarding the interest rate risk, there is the mitigate strategy, and this is to ensure the financial health of the business and confidence of investors. The next risk is security risk regarding the condition of goods, and the company has established the transfer risk, and this is to not assume all the profit losses so that it agrees to pay annually for an insurance. And the security risk regarding road accidents has the transfer strategy, and this is by taking out the right insurance with financial protection. Continuing with the strategies of the next risk, there is the business risk of non-competitive prices. The company has established to accept it, and this is since Mexican products continue to have much more competitive prices. Then there is the business risk oriented toward the market acceptance, and the company has the mitigate strategy. And the reason why is that by taking the necessary measures to ensure market acceptance. And the last business risk is related with the lack of operators. The company has a transfer strategy, and the reason why is by partnering with experienced logistics companies. Then we have the legal and regulatory risk. The company has decided to take the mitigate strategy, and this is to have adequate supervision and concealing about compliance with regulations. And the last one is the reputation risk. The company has decided to take to accept the risk, and this is because the company has decided to focus on other more important risks.
Hi, I'm Mariana, and we analyzed 7 different companies and the betas. There is the covariance divided by the variance M. The first company that we analyzed is Aviva again, and their beta was 0.93079. And then we analyzed the Good Food Market Corp, and their beta was 0.18036. And then the Guru, that this was the company that has the highest beta, and it was 8.9. And then we have the company Son Opta, and their beta was 1.5476. And the other three was Maple Leaf Food, that it was 0.34. And then was the Organigram Holding Inc., and their beta was 0.850. And then was Organto Foods, that it was 0.74879. And then we have the beta of Green Space Brands, and we analyze all of the. We have here how we analyze how we have the beta, that is the covariance, and their beta was 5.82, 15.
Ahora, mi nombre es Gladys Villanueva y una vez que ya reconocimos los posibles riesgos que pudiera tener la empresa, vamos a analizar a largo plazo si es viable invertir en ella. Primero vamos a ver el sales budget y, bueno, como ya se mencionó antes, los dos vegetales orgánicos que la empresa Verde Vida vende son las cebollas y zanahorias. Se espera que por día se vendan 2.500 kilos de cebollas, lo cual al mes se estarían vendiendo 50.000 kilos de cebollas, y esto a un precio de 45 pesos mexicanos por kilo, lo que nos daría unas ventas totales de 2.250.000 pesos por los kilos de cebolla vendidos. Y en cuanto a los kilos de zanahorias, se espera que al día se vendan 4.000, en el mes se vendan 80.000, esto a un precio de 30 pesos, y en total serían 2.400.000. Y lo que nos da en total de ventas ya sumando los kilos de cebollas y zanahorias, serían 4.650.000 pesos de ventas totales. Ahora, pues ya viendo los kilos de cebolla vendidos al mes, que son 50.000, a la empresa Verde Vida le cuesta producir un kilo de cebolla, le cuesta 30 pesos, lo que daría un total de costos variables por los kilos de cebolla de 1.500.000 pesos. Y por producir un kilo de zanahorias, en cuanto a costos variables, le cuesta 15 pesos. Esto multiplicado por la cantidad de kilos vendidos al mes sería 1.200.000, lo que en total de costos variables nos daría 2.700.000 pesos. Ahora tenemos los costos fijos. Primero tomamos en cuenta los servicios, que serían un total de 100.000 pesos. También salarios de los gerentes, que en este caso la empresa tendría 4 gerentes, con un total de 160.000 pesos. Salarios de los empleados, 40, que en total serían 600.000 pesos. 3 vigilantes, que en total serían 24.000 pesos. De una agencia de marketing, de advertising, que en total serían 350.000 pesos. Y también se incluyeron los instrumentos para combatir los riesgos dentro de los costos fijos, que incluyen la póliza de seguro, que en total sería 50.000 pesos, el seguro de flete, que serían 35.000 pesos, la empresa de investigación del mercado de Canadá, 50.000 pesos, la empresa logística, 70.000 pesos, la supervisión legal, 60.000 pesos, y los representantes de ventas que se estarían utilizando para entrar al mercado canadiense, que en total tendríamos 2 y serían 80.000 pesos. Y ya todos estos costos fijos nos daría un total de 1.579.000 pesos mexicanos.
Hi, my name is Naida, and I'm going to talk about the assets of this company. They have agricultural land that costs 5 million pesos. They have an irrigation system. They have 3 of them, and each of them costs around 8,000 pesos, and the subtotal will be 240,000 pesos. Then they have farming equipment. They have a quantity of 5, and making a subtotal of 450,000 pesos. For the storage, they will have a quantity of 15 million pesos, and the storage stationery will cost around 15,000 pesos, and the petty cash will be around 150,000 pesos, giving us a subtotal of 20,955,000 pesos. Now, the income statement. This is by a month. This is a monthly period with a quantity of 130,000 units. They have a sales revenue of 4,650,000 pesos, with a variable expenses of 2,700,000 pesos, with a contribution margin of 1,950,000 pesos, with a contribution margin unit of each unit costs around 15 pesos, with fixed assets of 1,579,000 pesos, with a net income or profit of 371,000 pesos. Next, we have their break-even point, we can see the sales revenue of 4,650,000 pesos, and we can also see the total expenses of 4,279 pesos, giving us a break-even point of 105 to 66.67 units.
Good night, I'm Paula Flores, and I'm gonna talk about our last budget. In the first budget, we calculate the cash flow to 5 years. We respected the rule of no overpassing the 5% the of the in the years, and then we calculate the cash flow for each of the 5 years to get the net present value. We do this according to our highest beta, and we calculate with a capping of 9.64%, and we got a net present value of minus 10,290 minus 10,000,2099 434.41. Then we presented a scenario with a WAC. We decided to get equity of 80% and a debt of 20%, which calculates the WAC, and it was a total of 9.81%. According to the percent of WAC, we decide to calculate a new net present value to see if doing this we will get a positive number and we will be able to get a better result. And we did it, and we just got a total of 10,003,083,413. To conclude this, we got our project. It's not rentable, and we believe that by investing in this company, there is a high risk because despite of the requesting a loan or in having a debt with or fake scenario of the what, our numbers are negative, which will not be something good for us. And if we want to get our investment, we will have to put more debt, which we cannot do that because that will, even if we do that, we will get a negative number.